I love indie games. An indie company has no business making an MMO. It is a ridiculously big project. You cannot just get 10 buddies together and make an MMO. It is not an RPG, it is not a platformer. There's so many moving pieces that need to be perfect on an MMO to work. And it is such a saturated competitive market. And if you have like a small indie team doing that MMO, that's a huge red flag. And that's the case with Ashes of Creation. I don't think it's gonna take off. I don't think it's gonna be good. Not because they are bad people, not because they are untalented people, just because they do not have the resources to make it work. And if they prove me wrong, great. If they prove me wrong, that's great. Statistically though, I don't think that's gonna happen. MMOs are a dying breed anyway, they are expensive to make, and the most popular are the older ones. Yes? Yes! Same reason as streamers. That's a great analogy. Why is Pokimane such a big streamer? Is it because she's better at the game than all the other League of Legends streamers? Is it because she makes better content than all the other React streamers? Or is it because she started back in 2013 when there wasn't any competition and she was kind of the only girl on the side? I am afraid that that's just the reality of life, that most success in life is about standing on the right place at the right time. And you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's the way it is. And sadly, I don't think it is neither the right place or the right time for an MMO to come out. If they made a good MMO, it would be very profitable. I'm not saying they wouldn't make good money from a good MMO, but here's the problem, hear me out. Say you are like, I don't know, Google. So you are like a huge mother freaking company. You got billions of dollars to spend. Right? You got billions of dollars. And you want to make an MMO. And you are told, as the executive at Google, that 90% of MMOs will fail within 3 years. Okay, so you get a 10% chance of succeeding. Then you're told it's gonna cost you between $200 million and $400 million to develop the MMO. Because that's what a good MMO costs. WoW costed, I think, $100 million, and that was way back in the day before inflation, and this game was also like a lot simpler to make because of the graphics. So I would say like about $200, $300, $400 million would be like a realistic budget for an MMO, the scope of WoW today. Alright, you got that. You gotta drop that much money on a 10% chance of success. How do you tell competent developers to hire from incompetent developers to hire? No guarantee, no way to know which company is gonna make a good MMO, because every company, it doesn't matter how established they are, it doesn't matter how much experience they have. Companies are extremely inconsistent. There's only been like what? 2-3 companies in the world that managed to make a good solid MMO, like the EVE Online people, and maybe Bethesda, maybe Bethesda and Blizzard. Those guys are not gonna make another MMO. They already got their MMO. You cannot compete against yourself. So you have to go to a company that is not established, a company that never made a successful MMO before, and you have to pray that they might make a good MMO if you give them the money. It can happen. It can happen, but if you're like a super big company that has the money to do it, you look at the statistics of how many MMOs fail, and you look that there's no way to know if you are gonna succeed when you make it, because there's like no way to know the quality of a developer. And there's like 70 trillion other things, because MMOs are designed to keep the players in the same MMO, so it is extremely hard to get people off WoW to play somewhere else. So the market is not very good. And you look at all those factors and you decide making a good MMO makes no sense. Yes, it can be good. Yes, it can be profitable. But I can spend that same money on making 20 phone games. And I'm gonna be guaranteed to make the same, if not more money. It's gonna take less time, and there's almost no work on my part. What are you gonna do? Be honest. What are you gonna do? If it is your job, thank you for the sub, Bill Daddy. If it is your job, to make money, not to make good games, because companies are not in the business of making good games. They are in the business of making money. If it is your job to make money for the company, would you take that decision to make the MMO? Knowing all that, no, you wouldn't. And that is why we don't have good MMOs, and we're probably never gonna have a good MMO in like 10 years. I don't know. It is a sad reality. It is kind of a dead genre. And it's gonna stay that way. I am sorry to doom to you, but this is how it is.